Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Comfort. If you're new here, well, welcome you, and we hope that you're going to stay. And if this is not your first time, you've been here before, you've seen me before, I've had a chance to be in your presence, you've watched my videos before, um, welcome you back. This is a channel that talks about women and growing up into an ideal woman. We discuss things that concern women, literally everything, emotionally, spiritually, growing up, maturing into an ideal person. Now, if you are a young woman and you have a mother, aunties, cousins that look out for you and they're a good support system, you might not find this channel really appealing. This channel is really focused on some of us who grow up alone, no mothers to really help us to see and no mothers to tell us this you can, this you can't, and no cousins, no aunties. But that's not to say if you want to stay, you can't stay. Be here. I mean, we are happy to have you. And now today we are talking about the T.M.M. T triple M. And that is tradition, modern, modesty, and matured. So you agree with me that every woman needs this, right? You agree with me that as a woman, you need to know a little bit of tradition. And as a woman, you need to be modern. And as a woman, you have to be modesty and you have to be matured. Now, what do these words really mean? What does it mean to be a T.M.M.M kind of a woman? Traditional, matured, modern, modest woman. Wow. So this is very simple. This is very, very simple, actually. For some of us, we know once you hear the word tradition, some of us who are grown up in Africa, we know what that really means. We or connect tradition to things we are taught. So, you have certain values and certain qualities, certain traditions, certain customs that were inculcated to you from your parents, especially your mother, okay? And who perhaps learned the things that she's taught you from her mother, who learned from her mother, who learned from her mother. So those things are like your, we could say your heritage, because you've learned them from your mother, who learned from her mother, who learned from her mother. So they're generational. So they have been inculcated to you as well. But there's certain traditions that are really questionable, especially if you're a Christian woman and you believe in the Bible, you believe in God. Certain traditions are really, really questionable. If you find some of them questionable, you know what, and they are contradicting the Bible, stay away from them. But there are certain things that our parents inculcate in us, especially a female parent. And those actually help us to grow up into women that can be appealing to people. Simple things. And sometimes people would go in deeper things like, oh no, how to keep a man and things like that. But we all have been taught, you agree with me, that a female parent always emphasized how to be clean, how to take care of yourself as a woman. Cleanness is number one amongst the things that a female parent has inculcated into a female child or a daughter. And we see those things coming from all the way from your grandmothers, your great grandmothers. So if you're a tradition woman, then you have certain things that you value a lot, things that your mother inculcated in you, things that she learned from her mothers, and you've also learned to really just take them up and make them part of you. You know how to treat people, how to really respect other people, and some of these things may sound really simple, but they go a long way. You remember those moments when there's a visitor at home, right? And then you're trying to misbehave and your mom just looks at you and you can literally Like, no, the mom is saying I'm not being respectful to our visitors. Those are the things that makes you as a traditional woman. Now, some people go really deeper. Like certain things are quite deep. Your mom took time maybe to teach you about marriage, friendships, relationships, how to relate with people. When you hold on to those things that you learned from your mother, who learned from her mother, and their generational and they're your heritage, you hold on to them and you use them in your everyday to day life. We can point to you and say you're a traditional woman. You have customs. They may be very wide. For some people, it's very, very deep. Yeah, and you hold on to them. For as long as you're holding on to them and you're carrying them with you and you want to inculcate them into your children or your female child, then we can say that you are indeed a traditional woman. What about modern? What should a modern woman really know? Now, we all agree that times are changing, right? And so you can't stay the same. You can't be the same if you're a modern woman. You try by all means to expose yourself to the way life is moving. You understand? You be able to understand things according to time. You're not stagnant. You are not in one place. You're not scared of change. You just don't, oh no, I was never exposed to things like this, so I can't do it. No. You know that times are changing. Things are moving really, really fast. So you try by all means to expose yourself to these modern things that have come up. And you try not to let them change who you really are. You just want to make them part of your life. Then we can say you are indeed a modern woman. Now, another thing that a modern woman will know, we expect a modern woman to know, is the fact that a modern woman knows that things are temporary. Nothing is here forever. Like I mentioned from the beginning, that times are changing, things are changing. A modern woman knows that everything is temporary. So she knows what to hold on, what to hold dear to herself. She knows what to let go. She knows what cannot be kept forever. She knows this has to move on. I can't stay here forever. That's a modern woman. She moves with time and she doesn't hold herself back. She doesn't want to just stay stagnant and say, oh no, I can't change. Oh, because I was never exposed to things like this. That's a modern woman. And sometimes you would think of this woman as someone who knows what it means to be, when we go into the world of marriage. A modern woman knows that, look, those things of a husband and a wife should start together and, or maybe you have to be completely reliant on your husband. A modern woman knows that she has to be a helper at home, a motivator to her husband, an educator to her children. So she will not completely rely on her husband. She knows that she needs to facilitate at home. And she knows that she needs to encourage her husband to comfort, to support, to also motivate. So she is not going to live her life saying, oh, my husband is going to bring everything. We're not saying men are not supposed to provide. We're saying men provide. But a modern woman knows that a man needs help. Whatever kind of help you're going to lend her, a man needs help. A modern woman should know that because of the world that we are living in. So if you're a modern woman, you should know that you are indeed a helper, just like the Bible puts it. So you help either by motivating your husband, encouraging him, comforting him, or perhaps coming in financially. A modern woman should be able to know that. And she does it not because, oh, I want to show that I can do it. No, she's doing it because she knows that the times we are living in have really changed. And I am expected as a woman to help out in any way that I can. Then moderate. What can help people to see that you're a moderate person? I love to speak about this because, moderate is linked to humility. And now, sometimes because it is linked to humility, sometimes we might we have a tendency of misunderstanding what this really is. But if you're a moderate person or a modest person, you know, your manners, your etiquette, your behavior, the way you speak, the way you get angry when you're upset, everything is on the moderate level. Everything has a limit. For you, you have somewhere you can end. You're not gonna cross that line because you are upset or because you have to show your feelings. It's somewhere you're going to end. And you just tell yourself, you know what, I can't go beyond this because this now goes beyond what is expected of me as a modest woman. So it could be in your dress and grooming, it could be in the way of speaking, it could be in the way of, you know, talking, the way you speak, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. Everything is connected to being a modest woman. You're moderate in whichever way, your speech, your conduct, your behavior, the way you treat others. You're moderate. You don't go overboard. And when you do things like that, for example, I touched a bit on getting upset. You know, a moderate person knows I am very mad. I'm very upset. If I go beyond this, it will not be nice. So they will hold themselves. And you can see that self-control now comes in, you know, so it's called linked. Self-control comes in, and then you reduce yourself to a point where you just feel, you know what, I can't go beyond this. I'm upset, and if I continue, it will not be nice. So what is bringing you to that point is knowing that, look, I am a modest person. I am moderate. I have to end at some point. That is what is expected out of a modest woman. And that goes beyond, you know, just looking for your own interest. Because if you're a moderate person, you know what to expect out of other people. You know what to give out of yourself. You can't go beyond. You know where to end. You also know where other people can end. And so that just makes you a person or a woman that is very easy to relate with, very easy to know, you know, for people to kind of like get along with. And it's important, even it goes even way beyond with your children. Your children will get to see that, oh, mom has a point where she doesn't go beyond, especially for some of us who are parents who are really like taking care of other people. We need to be modesty. We need to be moderate in our behavior, conduct, and, you know, the way of speech. And the last quality that a woman should endeavor to really cultivate is maturity. Now, you agree with me that every year you grow older, right? Every year you grow older. But it's very important. I'm going to say this again. It's very important to remember that a year being added to your age does not determine how mature you can be. I'll say that again. A year being added to your years does not determine your maturity. You can be very, very old, but your maturity levels are very low. So if you are an ideal woman, you are a woman that other people are looking up to, or you're a woman who is taking care of herself, you need to know what real maturity really is. And this is where we want to kind of like think of it from all angles. And we start from spirituality. You have to be spiritually matured. You have to be academically matured, emotionally matured, and especially emotionally matured. An emotionally matured woman is an ideal person. They are very easy to relate with because they know, like I said in the previous quality, modesty or moderate, they know when to react and when to hold back. They know what to say at what point. They know how to hold themselves. So if you're a mature person, look around you. How do you affect the people around you, especially when it comes to emotionally? Are you emotionally matured? Are you spiritually matured? Are you, you know, do you know how to manage your own money? Are you financially matured? So all aspects come into play. Your emotions, financial aspect, your spiritual aspect, everything come into play. And it's those things that really determine that you are matured. Now, maturity is really gained in different kind of ways. For some people, they have to experience something, for them to really get to the point where they say, ah, this really changed me, or this really has left me strong, or this really has left me more matured. So some experiences we go through in life can really help us to mature. Or sometimes we learn from other people's experiences. You look at how their lives have turned out and you're like, okay, I think I can learn from that. So maturity comes from all angles. You have to look at your own experiences, things you've been through, things you've endured, and how they have changed you, where they have taken you, and all that helps you to mature. And sometimes you have to look at other people. You look at how they deal with situations, if they were required to show emotional maturity, did they display that? And once you see that, you can learn from them, and you don't want to make the mistakes that other people made. That's what we want, to learn from other people so that we can avoid certain mistakes. So as you are maturing, take an opportunity, give yourself an opportunity to learn yourself, learn other people's circumstances, learn so that you can develop, mature, and become a woman that you're endeavoring to become, and a woman that's going to be ideal, not only for other people, even for yourself. When you give yourself chance to mature into a traditional woman, like we've talked about, into a modest woman, a modern woman, and now a mature woman, there'll be situations that will really try you. And because you've really molded yourself to this point where you're just a woman that really understands life from all angles, those situations will kind of like push you, and then you still, like stand up and say and walk out of the room, and you don't need anybody to tell you, oh, you're doing well, or you behaved really well. Deep down your heart, you know that you behaved in a way you were supposed to. So when you think about growing up into this T.M.M.M kind of a woman, traditional, modern, modesty, and matured woman, it's not something that you're doing for other people. It's something that you're doing for yourself. So that should you encounter a situation that will require you to go beyond, or show the other side of you, you restrain yourself. You're like, I've grown up into this woman, I am not going to cross this line. I will really put a boundary here. And then after that, no one even benefits other than yourself, because you feel good about yourself. You get to realize that you are trying to be a good person, even if it's other people hating you. So as you are endeavoring to, develop these qualities, maturity, modesty, modern, tradition, always remember it's something that you are doing for yourself, so you can be ideal and be able to just stand out and be a woman that you can love to spend time with, because you really do feel proud of yourself, and you really do appreciate the things and the point at which you are in your life. So this is what I thought we can discuss today. We have looked at a number of things, and I've been talking for the last 20 minutes. So we have looked at how we can really mold ourselves into modesty, modern, matured, and tradition. I hope that this video really educated you in one way or the other. If there are things that you feel like, oh, I need to improve here, or oh, I already know what this is, well, that's good for you. But if there are certain things that you feel like you need to incorporate into your life, feel free. Don't let anything hold you, because the honest truth is it's never too late until you are late. So give yourself an opportunity to learn and just unfold yourself, get to really understand who you really are and your capacity, and get to understand your limits. That's what modesty really is all about. So until the next video, this is Comfort, and this is a channel that really discusses women. It's bye bye.